Sorry about that super long entrance. Had to fix the door. Welcome to another episode of the People's Mic. I am Jimmy Peoples. Yeah, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Never. That's how we just started.
It's very cozy.
I think it was still of that look. What's going on? You made it? Don't walk in front. Yep, have a seat. This is the podcast before the mic.
Oh.
How are you?
They just make
It was just come in. Everybody, this is open mic. This is hi. Welcome to another episode of the People's Mic. I'm Jimmy Peoples. Welcome. Introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Bobbi Sheehan.
Bobbi, mother. How do you explain it? B-O-B-B-Y or B-O-B-B-I?
Y. I or I-E is feminine, I think.
Just go B-O-B-B-I.
Yeah, that's
It's a feminine spelling of Bobbi.
Huh?
That's a woman's name.
Yeah.
So if I spell my name J-I-M-M-I.
Well,
Exactly. It is what you make it. It's the cooler one. Bobbi is the fix you, I think. We're changing a lot of things.
Well, folks, you've heard it here first.
B-O-B-B-I. What else makes the I sound? B-O-B-B-I-X. Bobbi?
I think that might make people think I'm a Latino.
Bobbi?
Yeah.
Bobbi Sheehan?
I think
no.
so.
Sheehan brings you back to life.
Oh, okay. Well, as long as we go back to white, we're good.
Bobbi Sheehan.
I'm not wearing a suit for this, though. I feel like I have to say.
I feel like you dressed up for the mic, for this podcast.
Yes, it is.
You did. Just say you did.
I had nothing to do with the job interview.
No. Don't tell them that.
Do I look at you or do I look at the people?
You look at both, because
Okay.
we got audio, we got sound. Just
Okay.
act like there's 1,000 people out there.
Yeah.
It's only one person. One person only watches this, and it's actually Barack Obama. So,
Oh, shit.
yeah, Barack Obama watches this podcast.
That's what he
And,
does.
that's all I need. Yeah. He hit me up the other day. He said, "Hey, Jimmy, I like your podcast. Keep doing your thing." And,
Wow. That was a great impression.
was it? Did you feel it?
There you got it. Perfect. I didn't know you did impressions.
No, I don't. I'll never have it. That's like hitting a bank shot, like a shot
Yeah.
that you didn't mean to make.
Yeah.
It'll never happen again. Like if I was in front of about 200 people, an audience, I could never do that.
See,
I felt it. It felt good.
I can't. Any accent I try to do, it starts out okay, and then it turns into Borat. Like a matter of time until it's Borat.
Just say, "This is Borat," doing an impression of the thing that you thought you were doing.
Okay. That I don't know if that's a likable premise.
So do Denzel. Can you do Denzel right now?
Well, Denzel doesn't have an accent. Okay.
Whatever you think it is.
What's up? This is This is just blackface.
Yeah,
It's very offensive. Yeah.
What's up, bro?
Yeah. Everything in my body was like, just don't do a generic black guy, and I immediately did.
Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman's easy.
Is it?
Is it?
I'm Morgan Freeman, and I will touch you whether you want me to or not.
I don't like it. I don't like it. Black people, we protect our heroes.
Yeah.
You completely just disrespected. Get RT.
I'm so sorry.
Fuck out.
I'm so sorry.
Oh,
Everybody,
man.
without exception.
Yeah. No exceptions.
Do you reluctantly defend every black Me Too guy?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Bill Cosby?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no way. Not in front of white people. Like in front of black people, it's like it's a different subject.
Probably raped.
Huh?
He raped.
You can leave. You can absolutely leave. Don't you talk about Papa Cosby like that.
But if me and Steve left and it was you and like a couple black guys, you'd be like, yeah, you fucking did that shit.
I'm not allowed. I'm not.
No.
There are no other black people in the show to.
Yeah, we don't have that kind of unity.
You know, white people like no. He did it. He's a rapist. He's a monster.
I don't even when people.
You do on the low, because that kid who shot up the church and got Burger King. They kind of.
Well, the cops themselves that were like, yeah, you were having a bad day, you were dehydrated or whatever.
They got a Burger King.
That is really odd.
Burger King? Come on.
That's an
asshole move on the low, right?
What do you think if he If it was like a misdemeanor, he could have gone to McDonald's or whatever.
No, he shouldn't have gotten any food. What's
It
that?
is bad.
Why did they go get him food?
It is bad.
Is that a confirmed thing or is that a...
No, they did.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, that's...
It's because
Yeah, if you don't think white privilege is real, that...
it
that
goes
is-
Give me
into
my pass.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Fucking
I'm
book.
on a short
Pat-
It's a short trip, and I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna get a hold of you. I'm gonna do some training with you on my next
Let's
visit.
go.
Okay?
You out of here?
Wait, which one are you talking to?
You.
Okay.
You leaving or
No,
you
no,
staying
I'm
for the mic?
I'm going to. I've been running around. I got
Better
some
mic.
business.
Stay for a better
No,
mic?
no, I got-
Better mic, Patrick?
More tile business this
Pussy?
time.
At least I'm gonna be pussy.
I eat it all the time.
Oh, fuck. All right. Patrick Booker.
Another Irish guy. See, I don't even have like the like if someone's like, oh, I'm Irish too, I don't give a shit. You know.
So you're not a what do you call it? You don't celebrate your Irish.
No, not at all.
But they celebrate you. Like you
Yeah.
like St.
Oh,
Patrick's
old
Day,
Irish
you're a
people?
mascot, right?
I mean, you know, I mean, if you're second, third generation, you don't really give a shit. But like,
Huh?
I can come on.
Jump off for a hot minute. I got Mike Coscarelli coach. So Mike comes, you jump off.
Yeah.
All right, just keep going. Introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Steven. I was here.
I
Like
had
a week or
Mosey
so
going. He was
ago.
like, hey, can I just
But yeah, no, it does go deep though. Is that it's like it goes as deep as the Irish though. It's like I think across the country, like they're like the Italians and Irish are like really bonded as far as like history goes. Too. You know what I mean? Like it's different for us like
what
city
do you
kids.
call non is that Europeans or Italian Europeans?
Yeah.
So non-American white, you know what I mean?
No.
Like Russians and Irish and Scot and Italians.
oh, like just barely, like recently white.
But that's old white.
No. That was all a thing that came out of
Like
all,
America.
like, the early 1900s. Like white, there were very few like white people. Like, Italians were considered black, Irish were black. Everybody was
because they were all
black.
English. Like because the American whites, so-called American
Exactly.
whites, they broke from the
Were
British,
English and
right?
Dutch.
They broke
Those
from
were-
them, right?
exactly.
They were like, oh, we're gonna do our own thing, and then everybody else came and said, we're definitely not black,
Yeah.
but
But then the Irish.
we're not white
And then
either.
it was the biggest. And then it was like the Irish versus black people. And the Irish kind of used their, tried like
It's so weird. It's
a whole-
The draft riots in New York,
exactly.
where it was, because if you were rich, you could get out of the draft in the Civil War. So, yeah. But in New York City, it was so it was black people and Irish immigrants that were being like unfairly, disproportionately drafted. So they band together. No, they just beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah. And then so
And
the
you wanna
Irish
fight with each other?
Yeah.
The Irish like
It's always
threw
divided.
black people under the bus in order to like gain a little clout in America and just be like, look, we're white too, haha.
And we are white now. Like that's why you're a ridiculous person. Yeah, but
We are white now.
You know how like Irish people now they'd be like, well, you know, we were oppressed too. I'm like, yeah, for like 5 years, like we made it.
But also because there's just like that whole like potato thing too, when like thousands of Irish people were rushing into America when all their potato crop went bad.
Oh, the family?
Yeah,
Is
the
that
famine.
Okay.
And so like that's just like that's basically just like refugees. What's happening is thousands of refugees like coming in and they get like treated badly by like March.
Well, was that or like they have bad food and bad music?
That is true.
I can't.
I don't know.
But the Irish, and then also that they made all the Irish police force like across America. And that Tammany Hall, it's just like it was. They just became like a political machine. It's like what the Hasidic Jews are doing. We were talking about that. It's just like they like stage. They like stage like little like little like coups on like small local politics, and then it just grows into like larger politics. You know what I mean? And then suddenly like JFK, like first like Irish president. You know what I mean?
Is he Irish?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah, I don't know that.
It's like the first thing I learned in Catholic
Really?
school.
He was the first
JFK,
Irish?
first Irish Catholic president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
White guy. It's a white guy.
Yeah. My dad went to JFK's like gravesite when he was a little kid in Catholic school, and he was a wise ass. So they have a candle on JFK's tomb, and they're all nuns, right? So one of the teachers said, "Does anyone know why they have a candle at JFK's tomb?" And my dad responded, "Because he's afraid of the dark."
Oh shit.
To which he promptly had his ass kicked by multiple nuns. Yeah, I'll fucking
They didn't give the answer though. Who's the answer?
I never
Oh,
learned.
You didn't learn the answer.
They're like, that's not the answer. We're gonna fuck you up, kid. Nuns are violent.
Yeah.
Man, you ever sleep with a nun?
What an oddly specific
I
question.
don't know.
Did you
I don't know.
seriously
I don't
think
know.
that
It all goes to
yes.
sex. It all goes to What?
Being a nun, there's
I
a
found an ex-nun. A girl who's
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Have you told this story before?
No. No.
Well, tell it now.
No. It's not a real story.
Oh, okay. I was so
It's a real
intrigued.
story. It's just like, yeah, I used to be a nun.
Damn.
Wow.
And what was she like? Was she freaky?
She's boring.
Damn.
She's alright. Yeah, post nun.
Yeah,
Post nun.
makes sense.
I think, and I was not her first black nun, so it's like,
Oh, damn.
yeah.
So,
No.
but she was your first sex, not
She was my first ex.
Damn.
But I didn't know. She was like,
Did she have a hairy pussy?
She was sexy. She was sexy. What even that wrong? No,
Yeah,
it
see,
wasn't
I don't know why it
she
was-
wasn't. She wasn't a '70s nun. She was like not the '70s. It's like,
Yeah, I guess she could be a young nun.
It sounds awesome. Honestly, the whole concept of being a nun sounds like pretty awesome. As far as it goes, like, back in the day, like that must have just been like a prime option as far as it goes. Like get married, get sold, or whatever, or you can just like go to the mountains and be a nun.
Weren't nuns
Generally, you don't have
poverty
to
then?
worry that much because people that protect you, you know what I
I mean,
mean?
they're like they're impoverished, aren't they? Or back in the day, like
I'm
nuns was
supposed
not.
to be, but I don't.
Okay, now we're getting to a point.
I don't know. So
This whole podcast is us not. It's just
Things
wondering
about-
about what
Things we don't know.
Easily
and just
Googleable
assume.
Easily Googleable.
Easy Google.
That's the name of that
Should write that down. Can you write that down for me? The name of this episode is easily Googleable.
Yeah.
You can save that. What do you struggle with? What's going on in your life?
Me? I need to get laid, dude.
How long has it been?
It's been I think it was snowing February.
I didn't think it was snowing.
I
It was the
believe-
winter
I
of
believe-
'69.
Well, we were talking off mic. We were like, dude, just download Bumble, and I like that.
I didn't want
that
to
was
get-
your response.
Papa. Oh, actually, just grab a chair.
No, tag me out. I'm over it. I'm over it.
Have a seat. You over it?
I'm over it.
Steve, what's happening?
Introduce yourself.
Hey everybody, are you live streaming?
Yeah, live stream.
Woo! Comedian, producer Mike Coscarelli. How are you everybody?
How are you?
I'm good, man.
It's just Barack Obama. He's the only one that watches.
Just Barack
Yeah,
Obama?
just Barack Obama.
Mr. President, am I?
And is Bobby Sheehan?
Yes, what's up? How are you doing? I'm sorry that I'm late.
You smell real Italian.
I do, yeah. I showered and I'm wearing a
Wafty of the
The
Italian.
thing is, when you're Italian and you wear a black shirt, the smell just
It
comes
just,
on. It's the summertime, we just smell like this.
it's like it's like a guitar string.
Yeah, it's either this or garlic.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
What's going on?
My day, it's been fine, man. I was trying to get here on time, but unfortunately,
I like when white guys do
yeah.
Yeah.
I try to not do it because it gives our people a bad
it.
day.
Yeah.
But
That's how you lose your white card.
yeah, pretty much. I feel like I'm half a black guy anyway. I've got no
You're
income. I got no
Italian. You're Italian.
I am, yeah.
We were just talking about it. Irish Italian. We just became white.
Dude, I've literally had this conversation with like other Italians before. I'm Sicilian too, so I'm like literally Sicilian's like 90
black
miles
people
away from Africa, pretty much.
Yeah.
So I was like,
that's big time play.
yeah, I was like, yeah, we probably. Like, my dad has like kinky hair and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
maybe not like 2 generations back, like a couple generations before that, we probably have black skin. Like there's a black person in my family. I don't know how far back it goes.
You gotta
He's
you'll
gotta
find
be- yeah,
He's
he's gotta
in
be
the corner.
North African or something. He's either North African or Arab. It's one or the other. But and especially because we're so swarthy looking, like we have these fucking giant eyebrows, and we have like it's definitely.
It's fucking on.
Just getting more and more offensive.
So close. In their fucking nose. Where is his nose from?
Yeah, but I think for sure.
Mike does
that
90% crowd work, by the way.
Usually, yeah. I was looking for. It's funny 'cause I did a show in Jersey. Where it was like mostly Italian crowd. There's one black guy in the front, and I was like hosting, and I was doing travel with this guy, and I said something about him being like, yeah, like a bunch of Italians are tonight good, and there's one Sicilian there, and I pointed to the guy, and got a big laugh, and then after that, it just
Downhill went down.
Shit, man. Dude, anytime I've done that on a show where I was like performing to a black audience, I'll always go too far by accident. Because I always like I've done black rooms and I'm always like, oh yeah, you gotta go at black audiences and you gotta
Able to shovel out.
Dude, I just like, I guess I just say something like, it's weird. I think I say something that like doesn't cross the line, but it gets to a point where it's like it's probably a little too far, but not like way too far. And they're like processing like, should I be mad at him for that?
Yeah. Now they're just thinking about it. Like,
yeah.
Kill this motherfucker?
Right. Yeah. They're like, should we be mad or should we like whatever? And then it's like the next couple of jokes like don't do well. So it's like, I did a boat once, and there was this boat cruise around the Hudson River, and it was. There was a radio station that I used to work at a cluster of radio stations, 4 radio stations. One of them was an urban station, which was like R&B and like whatever. 1039? Yeah. So 1039 had this. No, that's Radio 1039. It's like a newer station, but it's like, I mean, you know how these urban stations are. Might as well be a urban station.
No, these urban stations. You just get so.
I'm like slowly forgetting that you're black. It's like, you know.
I'm comfortable with it.
Yo, everybody. I hate it.
But like, so like they know that this is like 3 years ago. Probably they know that I'm like a comedian. They're like, why don't you come on and do this show? Steve Wilson is headlining it. Steve Wilson is the guy that opens for Geo Bugly and stuff. This is like his birthday show, and Damian Lemon is on it, who does Comedy Knockout now. And this guy Roberto Vanderpool, you ever heard of him? He's like an urban room circuit. He's a fucking killer. He's really funny. And Jamie Roberts is mostly. And I got booked on this thing. They were like, why don't you come in and just do 10 minutes? Whatever, it's not a big deal. And dude, it was probably like 75 to 80 black people that were like 40 to 50. That was like the whole audience pretty much. And I was I was literally like so if I'm standing on like the stage of the boat, I'm on the stage, and then there's an audience of people. There's like layers. So there's like an upper deck, then there's like a middle deck, and then there's like people on the like at tables eating dinner and stuff like that. So that's what I'm looking at, and then there's a row of people sitting behind me. So now I've got people behind me, and I've got like probably like 12, 15 people behind me, and then these layers of people, and they fucking, dude, they like, people were dancing on the dance floor before this. I'm saying like, before like we got on, they were like, it was like cocktail hour, so people were like drinking, and like there's a DJ, and they're dancing, they're having like a great time, people are like twirling, having fun. And then the shows, they're just like making an announcement, they're like, all right, everybody, back to your seats, we're going to start the comedy show now. So it's like, everybody was having fun, now that got disrupted, so we can do this comedy show. And then Jamie goes up and starts hosting, does like a good job, and then I'm first. And I go up there, I said something about like, dude, I said, this is going to end with it. I had to bring something like, no.
Greatest set I ever had.
I had the people behind me, so I made some joke about like watching my wallet. I can't remember exactly what the joke was, but I was like, oh my god, I got from Bronx Piner. I guess I better like hang on to my wallet. And I got like very tepid, like nervous.
That's what I expected.
Yeah, they kind of like wanted to give me the benefit of the doubt, but like they didn't. You know what I mean? And then I just fucking. And then the worst part about climbing on a boat is that you have to stay on the boat.
Contemplate just diving off.
I literally.
If I'm not destroying like everything, I'm not getting on a boat. I'm not getting on a boat.
Horrible. It was literally, I just, it was like another 2 hours. This thing was just, it was literally just circling this river. But it was just, I just went and found a table and like above the deck. I just sat.
They should have one lifeboat with like a microphone and a bomb on it.
There should be a bomb room. Like, you don't do well, there should be a room that you can go in and just disappear for the rest of the world.
That's what I want to do, man. Because you're just like, you don't want anybody, like, you do poorly, you don't want
Nobody was talking.
You're not going to be on the floor, like, partying, like yeah. Like, you just fucking ruined, I don't say ruined everybody's night because the other comics were good, but like, it just felt terrible, man. Like, but you have to stay there. There's literally nowhere you can go. Yeah. You just
And most people don't, I think, like your average audience member is gonna be like, oh, he had a bad set. They think objectively.
No, I think you suck.
Yeah, they just think like, who the fuck is this loser?
Comedians think, oh yeah, that was a bad set. Oh, let's go chop it up in the corner.
Yeah.
Like, regular people are like, fuck that guy.
Yeah,
I don't even.
Yeah.
Eye contact.
Well, and then especially for like a crowd like that, it's Steve Wilson was like nice about it. He was like, man, like, what were you even doing on this show? He didn't say it like that. He meant like you were fucked. Like you had no chance, you know. Like in a playful way, but he said something when he got on stage. He's like, what is this white boy doing here?
You're the only white guy on the show?
Yeah.
So you had to address it in a funny way.
I didn't. You thought you did. You thought it was a killer. Sometimes you think, like, yo, this is going to be funny. And nothing happens.
Exactly.
It's like, damn, that didn't go off.
I didn't handle it well at all. And yeah, but it's like at the end of the day, what was I doing on that show? I think that like I got hooked on it as like hey, you're coming, like, why do you come do like charity? Because I worked at the station, so I think they were just like, why don't you come do a couple minutes? And like, I don't think they were ever expecting me to be like, okay. Yeah, and then I did, and then I don't necessarily regret it because I got.
It's a bit now. So
it's a bit. It's experience. It's a story. It's like
no boats. No boats.
No boats.
We don't do boats. It's in my contract. No boats.
From now on, the boat's got. I need money up front.
Yeah.
And it's got
the boats don't leave the harbor. I need to be able to get out of there as fast as possible.
It's brutal. Oh my god.
I don't go anywhere I can't get out of.
Yeah, dude. I couldn't imagine doing like 6 weeks on a boat. Like, I know it pays.
Yeah, but no. I need to be able to leave.
Yeah, man. You don't want to be just trapped on a boat with people for a week who watching you bomb.
You guys ever bomb posting?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but it's very awful.
You gotta keep going up, and it's like, man, I'm never gonna win you back.
I had a bar show where I was really eating as a host, and I thought that it was the crowd, right? And then I slide, I really did. And then I thought, and then I watched people do well, and then they literally got quiet as I like walked back to the stage. They're like, "Oh, this guy again? Well, we were just starting to have fun. Why is he back?"
Dude, I was in Jersey doing a show and was hosting, and it was the worst hosting job, worst set I've probably ever had in my life. I was just nervous because I was working with a headliner that I never worked with before, and the guy, like 5 minutes before I was going on stage, told me not to do crowd work. He's like, man, I do a lot of crowd work, don't do any crowd work. I was like, what?
As soon as you give me rules, I gotta break them.
Yeah,
like,
actually,
if you tell me don't do something, that's the first thing I'm doing.
It was just, but it was literally.
Crowd work? I've never seen.
That's your job. Yeah, that's your job to bring the audience together. As a host.
You're supposed to kind of unite the crowd.
Yeah, if there was a subject he didn't want you to talk about, he's like, hey, those up Trump because I do about myself.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I won't say Trump.
But even that, it's still just like what I learned from this was just whatever they say, fuck them, because they're not paying. Like, unless they are paying you. But like I'm working for the club, so I'm not. But the headline, I didn't know the difference at the time, and the headliner was like, yeah, don't do this because like I do this, whatever. I was like, all right, fine. So I went up there and I said like 5 words. I was like, hey everybody, welcome to Comedy Cove. You know, I hope you're having a great night. How many of you guys been to a comedy show before? So people clap. And then I was like, well, I'm done with crowd work. So then I immediately start going to my ass, and I just start fucking eating it. And I remember, like, dude, I forgot the guest spot's name. I had to like pull out a piece of paper and look at it. I was sweating. And then I got off stage and walking off, and I walked past the first table closest to the stage. I walked past the dude, and he goes to his wife and goes, that guy was terrible. I heard it. and then, you know, not only do I have to like stay there, do the rest of the show, bring up. They want me to do another 5 minutes in between the middle and the headliner. I'm bombing again. Just terrible. Just overall bad night. So I'm there the whole night. I gotta stay, and I can't just like leave.
Please go sit down. Go sit down. And I'll talk to you in a minute. I was like, who is this TJ Miller looking? No, it's good.
No, I just was bombing the whole time, and then like I had to come back and do it again the next night. Yeah, it's terrible.
Fun the second day though.
I did great the second, but like, cause the manager fucking came over and told me like, dude, like whatever happened last night, let's pay you and the headliner. Just don't listen to the headliner. Do what you gotta do because I'm paying you. Yeah, and I need you to be a good host.
Don't do crowd work because I do crowd work.
Yeah,
this is crowd work so hard legendary that
this dude was fucking hard. He was just like, I don't want to say he was terrible. He was just like,
Just say his first and last name.
Shout him out. Big shout out to what's his name.
it will never affect me. It was just like, it was one of those things I was watching and I was like, I can't believe I let this guy tell me not to do what I do for the sake of him saving face, you know? A lesson learned, for sure.
The show that I did where I bombed, I was trying to do crowd work, and it's very new, and like too new to be hosted.
Your crowd works awkward.
Oh,
right?
no, it's not. Very good. Everybody, please call me Bobbi Sheehan. Don't listen to Jimmy.
Bobbi Sheehan.
That is my Twitter handle, by the way. Bobbi Sheehan, LOL, and I cannot change it. No, it's cringy. Is what it is.
Really?
I appreciate your
Why can't you change it?
I mean, I can, but
Just name recognition?
I think so, yeah.
I don't think
totally
you're even worried about it. For now.
Yeah, they're being ironic.
Bless you!
Not a lot of Bobbi Sheehan, though.
No, there's me and the bass player from Blues Traveler who died from Maryland. So I think
You're good.
You're
You're cool.
Yeah.
But I was hosting and I was like, hey, what's your name? Blah blah. I'm asking where you're from. And I'm like, hey, do you have a girlfriend? And the guy was clearly gay. That was my joke. It's very clever, right?
What did the audience do?
Everyone laughed and he said no. And in his eyes, I could tell that either he's not out or he would not like to talk about it. And that was my crowd work. Just awkwardly pointing out that someone that is in the closet might be gay. Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm sure the night was fun. So don't feel bad for your awkward wallet joke. 'Cause I think
Dude, I mean, like, listen, this is just one of many thousands of
He was so
horrible...
gay though. I was almost upset. I'm like,
You're
really,
not,
dude, we're gonna do
you're not
this?
supposed to point that out. That one thing. Your job is to make him, is bring him on your side.
Dude, I've done so many mics where people are like, well, we have to talk about how weird you look.
Yeah.
Like, that's their crowd work.
I should
Like,
have.
that's fine.
Yeah. I should have guys who bring their girlfriends to the mic. I do that.
Oh, I would never do that.
I don't think that that's a big deal.
Yeah, to the mic? No.
Yeah, why not? I mean, like, it's...
Because what happens is they break up and she does kind of
No.
more than enough. I've
Have you
slept
seen
with
them?
I would get you...
What's her name?
Never mind.
I would guess that, like I can tell you right now, I don't think my girlfriend's ever come with me to it on, like, she's definitely come to shows, though, or, like, shows that are not done well on.
Yeah.
But
She's your girlfriend.
But that's the point. It's like if you bring your girl, like I can tell you that she is not. Bringing a girl to an open mic is almost worse for you than it is for the mic because it's like
going to the gym on your first date. It's like,
well, dude, you just don't want your girlfriend to see how horrible all this is.
Yeah.
You don't want your girlfriend to be like, I'm really dating a fucking loser. You know.
Also, if you have a girlfriend, why are you doing open mics? Just enjoy your...
Yeah, just have fun and enjoy your life. Yeah, I often contemplate this.
No, they
I'm
come
just like,
alive.
oh, it's Thursday night. We could grill a nice piece of fish and hang out.
Do comments like, yeah, I'm gonna take this girl I just met. She's gonna see how funny I am. And
That's never a good move.
No.
The only time that's like a great move is when you are like in at a place that's kind of like even remotely got a crowd of actual people, not like comedians watching whatever.
And you're confident with yourself.
Yeah, and then you know that you're gonna fucking kill. Like going to an open mic with a girl to impress her is not going to impress her. That's like
That's
it's
what's going on in the relationship.
It's gonna make you look sad. Make you look fucking.
It's like, why am I with this guy?
Dude, literally, unless you've got real shit going on, like credits and stuff like that, and it seems like you're just kind of like, just pop it in and just like try something, like say, show face, say what's up, like you're gonna look like a loser. You just literally, there's nothing you can do. Dude, I mean, like, going to open mics is the saddest thing. Everybody is very sad. Nobody is happy in any way. The people are, they look bad.
Ridiculous. That's out.
Super fun?
Yeah, super fun.
Advertising for Jimmy.
Yeah, little people's mic. I brought what I really wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Is you are a podcast consultant. Is that, can I give you that title?
Yeah, you can say it's podcast
You're good at
consultant.
this shit.
Yeah, I'm good at podcasts. I think so, yeah. I think I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah. So I want you to, like, a lot of these guys are thinking about doing podcasts, and it's like, this isn't a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, for something I said, hey, I had the space, let me try to do this, and I did a bunch of episodes.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to yourself a chance to advertise your skills.
Yeah.
What
Well,
advice would you give to a new
podcaster? Whatever it is, practice makes perfect. I know it sounds like corny, but I mean, I've been in radio for 8 years. I've been podcasting. Some of it is luck. Sometimes you just get lucky with some of the people that you work with, and they carry you as a producer, which I definitely had. I worked with my first podcast producing gig was for Ben Kissel, who, if you're a podcast fan, is one of the hosts of the last podcast on the left, which is one of the biggest podcasts in the world right now. And Ben and I did a show for All Things Comedy. At the time, it was kind of like a side project he was doing. Bird, Matt Madrigal went to him and were just like, hey, like you got a podcast audience, why don't you do a show? So he knew that I had radio skills. We just we worked together for about 2 years on his show. And I mean, truthfully, I know that show was carried by Ben. It's his name on it. His audience was paying attention to it. I really had nothing to do with it other than being around him, seeing how he interviews people, and he is a good interviewer. Putting my hands on the production of it, which was honestly kind of minimal, but like the fact that somebody that's good and has an audience can validate your work and be like, this is good. I like the work that you do, kind of like propels you to the next level. And now you can kind of take more chances. You need it to be reinforced. Somebody with talent has to look at your stuff and say, like, all right, you're doing a good job, because that makes you do a better job, and you grow and grow and grow. But you're gonna fail a lot too. I've done podcasts that, either had to change for whatever reason. When Social Villains was like the one that I worked on for 3 years with Gene Getman, who's a very funny comedian. He's okay. But me and Gene, I started that show by myself, where it would be me. I'd bring on 2 comics because I was just trying things out. I kind of wanted it to be like a tough crowd with Colin Quinn, and it was called One Classy Podcast. And then Gene had come on. Gene kind of pitched me and was like, "Hey, why don't we do this thing together?" I used to do a podcast. I think we'd be a good team, whatever. And then it became like our working relationship, just the chemistry was there, it worked, we kind of caught lightning in a bottle, and we grew it, not to a crazy amount, but we learned how to do podcasts, because we were also working in talk radio at the time. Yeah, we were just trying stuff, and that's the thing, like, the first time you do a podcast, it's gonna suck. The second time you do a podcast, it's gonna suck. But if you do it for 3 years, in the 3 years, you might be kind of good at it. And
you got it, bro. Like the more you do it, anything, it grows.
Yeah, but it also comes down to, it's not just practice makes perfect, but it's perfect practice makes perfect. And you want to, this is like anything else, man. The more you throw yourself into something, hopefully the better you'll get. The more people that you'll talk to, they'll kind of push you to get better. And you've got to immerse yourself in it. You've got to do it. You've got to do one every week. And don't be lazy. And if you want to build an audience of people, you've got to put something out every single week. Like, you can't just miss a week because somebody was out of town, or there's no excuse. You've got to commit yourself to doing this, especially if you want to do it at a high level. You've just got to put the money into invest in yourself. Get equipment that doesn't suck. Quality of your sound is so important. So learn how to fix your sound. Learn about microphones. Learn about sound production. You're not anything crazy. You don't have to be Dr. Dre, but it helps. It all helps. And growing an audience, one of the biggest keys is, does your shit sound professional? Because if it doesn't, people might just be like, "What the fuck is this shit?" Yeah, right. So that's a huge factor. But just do it. That's the most important.
Get started.
Yeah.
Get started. I used to be on radio too, and I didn't transition. I transitioned from radio to personal training to comedy.
Yeah.
But and then I just started producing shows, and then I got this one, and then it was a space, and I said I wanted to do a podcast. I had no idea. Like same with comedy, I thought you had to be at a certain level to do a podcast, and then I forgot who I was listening to. They were like, "Yeah, just pull out your phone and start recording, and then it grows."
Ideally, the thing is,
I'm still doing it. I got this bullshit phone.
Yeah.
But the sound is decent. Huh?
Sorry.
Is it language?
Yeah.
Is that what you...
We're having a nice conversation. Thank you for joining us.
Language, Dad.
I'm the best dressed on stage.
For any particular, I meant to ask about that. Is there any reason?
I just came from John.
Yeah, they did.
I kind of bombed the interview.
Yeah,
talking about bombing.
Right.
I really, you know what's weird? I don't know if you
bombed a lot. Good job.
This was this Russian guy, like this old Russian guy. So I don't know if he didn't like me or he's just the cultural sadness. I don't know which one it is.
It's hard to tell with Russians. Yeah.
How fast can you tell that you don't want a job?
Well, this one they it looks like they forgot about me.
Good job.
Yeah.
As it should.
The girl at the front desk said I was cute. Yeah.
But they're
No, I think like little brother cute, but I'll take it. I just made Mike really. I am so not Mike Coscarelli. Three very different guys right now.
I was like, well,
It's true.
I'm immediately different. I'm like, I'm not getting this job, but I gotta leave with something. I would have left with the money.
Yeah?
I'm like, yeah.
I don't. Well,
Yeah,
I
you
don't
should
know.
do that. Yeah, you should try to take something.
I'm taking a pen. I'm taking something.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you said I was,
Because you can't just take a full-on L.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
No.
I think so.
Yeah, man.
You know, I was just happy that I had the rest of the day off. Is that how
No.
bad the
Well, you're working now, aren't you?
Yeah, that is true.
Podcasting. No, yes, that's a huge factor. I think that's a very, you were said something about just pull out your phone, record, you get a certain level. You don't. Realistically, it's all about how you present yourself. And I think it's a very freeing thing to realize that you are really on a level with anybody. The one difference is that you are in New York City, which is good. So you're in a central location to get, people that might make a difference and actually help you grow an audience, guests, but it's just all about, presenting yourself. You have the tools to turn your thing into something bigger with the right amount of work and the smart type of work that, proper marketing, proper whatever. And it's more than just doing this. It's actually marketing your thing. It's getting on social media. It's trying to find a voice in the podcaster. Figure out exactly what you're doing, whatever. That's a huge factor. Very important.
many mistakes as possible. Just to, and just keep doing it. And I've learned a lot. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of money. I mean, like $10 a month.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get to a point where I made some money.
Yeah.
So I knew.
Yeah, that's huge, man. But the other thing too with podcasting is if your numbers are good enough, people will come and find you. And that's the thing that I've learned of producing other people's stuff. That I'm working with Claire Fisher on her podcast. She does Guys We Fuck, and she has a podcast called Two Us Lonely Girls now with Rosebud Baker. So a podcast about Justin Bieber. But basically, when we launched that thing, we had people just emailing us about trying to monetize the show before it was even out, because Corinne's got name recognition and people were anticipating the thing coming out. So you're working with somebody that has name recognition, they've got a history of actually being able to sell ad space on a podcast. Because it is big money if you've got the audience. They will just come find you, and that's all it came down to. Just like after the first week, people were just like, Audio Boom was hitting us up, Cast Plus, like these places were literally just emailing us. We'd love to hop on a call with you.
Real money.
Dude, they'll find you. That's the thing. It's like people are just like, how do I monetize this? How do I whatever? You can go out and hustle and try to cut a deal with, a bar or something. Like, yeah, go to Otto's Shrunken Head, and you can definitely do that. There's no rules, but the point is that if you can make your thing hot, the market knows. The market's they're always looking to put money on shit if there's money to be made,
Well, questions? Yeah. I don't really. Do you miss radio? Do you think podcasting replace radio?
I think podcasting is, I don't think that it'll ever completely replace radio. The one advantage that radio has is that radio is, it's sad that it's come down to this as like a last breath for radio, but at the end of the day, if you're in your car and you flip on 10-10 winds in New York, you can get traffic and weather in every 8 minutes, 7 minutes. I think it's every 7 minutes you get traffic. If you're driving into the city, that's probably an advantage. That's
just replaced by smartphones.
Could be, right? Yeah, if you're using Waze or Google Maps, that's possible. But yeah, I mean that's the argument that I always hear from the older guys that are in radio. If they're just like, yeah, it'll never get replaced because if you need breaking news, if there's an emergency, and let's say Wi-Fi is down, or I mean it's all bullshit, man. It's like having worked in radio for as long as I did, and also being in the podcast space at the same time. The thing that I've realized is that radio and podcasts, radio companies that try to do podcasting, they're fighting with themselves. They're conflicting interests because if you're a sales manager or a sales team in radio, if you're producing original podcasts and you're trying to use your sales force to sell those to people, radio is the brass ring for those people. So if they're pitching podcasts as the next thing, that means that their brass ring is losing value. And they don't really want to do that. Whether the podcast is doing well or not, the problem is that you've got to sell a radio station. You've got to get ads on to WABC or to all these. And if you're a salesperson there, you can't take away from that because that's what you're eating. But, that's how that's bringing you your income by selling these radio ads. But the ratings keep going down for all of these. Like the market keeps losing listeners. Every single book. Every time a new book comes out, there's less of a market share for people, which means that there's less money in the field, pretty much. There's less money coming in, less people are buying advertising. I don't know that they're all going to podcasts, but they're certainly going away from radio.
Sure.
Yeah, so there's an element of the radio being live that's really cool, that has always been cool. And anything can happen, and mistakes happen in real time, and you hear them and everything. And that I think is kind of like a lost art that a lot of people aren't going to know how to do live radio, like that really actual tight, good live radio. But having done both, I mean, the freedom of podcasting is just, I feel like it's a fair trade-off. Yeah, and the fact that you can really do it anywhere, wherever you want, and have the freedom to say whatever you want. There's no FCC restrictions. It's hard to say that it's better, but
it's just another avenue.
It's just another avenue. I just don't see how it doesn't. I just don't see how radio. You have to listen to it in real time. You can't listen to it on demand. And if you are listening to it on demand, it's a podcast. So it's I just don't see how podcasts don't replace radio.
Some people like the aspect of it being live.
Yeah, they do, but at the end of the day, it's like you can stream it now through phones and everything. I still listen to Francesa all the time. I love him. I think sports talk is kind of whatever, but I think he's just good at it because he's such a bold personality. He shouts down callers, and in New York, that's a very familiar thing to hear. But honestly, man, yeah, the allure of listening live, I think, is mostly news develops in real time. So if you're broadcasting live, you can react to things as they're happening, which was always an experience. I produced a lot of live news events in radio. When the Paris attack happened, it was fucking all hands up deck. Everybody's in the newsroom trying to get information on everything, and it's an exciting thing to kind of put together as somebody working on the project. And when it's happening in real time, it feels like it's super important to actually produce that stuff and get it out there on the radio. Because people are, but I don't know that people, their first instinct is to flip to the radio. I don't know if it's
only
been like that.
It's the phone.
Yeah, right. Honestly, it's if I want information, I just hit my phone right away.
Now there's so many things out there.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. There's so much I want to talk about. We gotta get this mic started.
Yeah.
Where can they find you online?
Twitter, Bobbi, Sheehan, LOL, Instagram, same.
Website?
No.
Get a fucking website. Get a fucking website.
Back to you, Jim.
What can they find?
I'm at Mike Coscarelli on Twitter.
Do you take questions when people ask you about podcasts and all that? Do you want people coming to?
Not really, to be honest. I gotta be real.
Do you want to be known as that guy? As
I think at this point I wouldn't mind that. But the other thing too is like I having done so many of these, it's hard to just consult everybody on everything.
like the reason why I did this is just to motivate comics.
Yeah,
to
do something.
do something.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Like this is my sword against YouTubers
Yeah.
who think they're comedians.
Yeah.
And comics who don't do social media.
Yeah,
So
well,
this
that's-
is
it's the only thing that matters at this
absolutely
point. It sucks.
in the business. That's so I try to motivate.
Like, would you like to build me a website?
I don't know how to do that.
Nor do I.
Go to Weebly and do it yourself. Do everything yourself, and then just start it, and then people will do it. Where can they find you?
At Mike Coscarelli on Twitter and Instagram. I also have a website, MikeCoscarelli.com. Go check that out.
Cool. And what podcast? What's your number one podcast?
I'm music editor and or music director and editor of the Guys Who Fuck podcast. I'm working on Two Less Lonely Girls as a producer, which is current and Roseburg's podcast. And I've got one coming out with Justin Perez called Shit My Girlfriend Makes Me Watch, which is just about, it's the two of us talking about Bravo shows, because both of our girlfriends watch these horrible reality shows. So look for that in the next month, probably.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Give it up for him one more time. Thank you, Bobby. It's another episode of The People's Mic. Of course, you can find it wherever podcasts are heard. JimmyPeoples.com, YouTube. We're going to use that. It did drop today, so we're happy about that. And Alexa, you can find this episode. This is 135. Just go to Alexa and say, hey, Alexa, play the new. Like that.
Yeah.
Play the New People's Mic podcast, and it'll play. All right, thank you guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it.